Homestead Dairy. I'm here to talk to you about how we keep our calves nice and cool and healthy in the summer, and the extra things we do to make sure that they stay well nourished and continue to grow throughout the hot summer days. One of the really important things is airflow, ventilation. So what we do is I have protocols in place to make sure that our curtains are adjusted based on weather and temperature. At certain temperatures, we have them half shut. On other temperatures, we have them all the way shut. But in the summer, since it's so warm, we make sure that the curtains stay open as much as possible. The only other time that we might shut them is when it is pouring down rain and the beds might get wet. So we base that on wind and the direction in which the rain is falling in order to adjust those curtains properly. But pretty much in the summer, our curtains are completely open, so we have the best fresh air as possible for the calves. So our ventilation tubes are blowing year-round. We make sure that they are on at full capacity because we have 200 calves in our barn and we want to make sure we have the air exchange as much as possible. We exchange the air 4 times an hour in the winter, and then with the curtains open, it's more than that. But it's really important to have that fresh air throughout the year, and I don't adjust them. They are adjustable. However, I just keep them on at full capacity to make sure that there's constant airflow for my calves, and it reduces the amount of pneumonia that I have in the pen to keep them as healthy as possible. Going along with airflow, I have 2 fans per pen in the calf barns. These turn on at 70 degrees and allow for the calves to cool themselves in the more direct wind than the ventilation tubes. I think this is really important because it helps dry the bedding as well as keep the calves cool during temperatures above 70 degrees. And if you ever come into my barn, you'll feel that it's way more comfortable than being outside in the hot, direct sun, and it allows the calves to have fresh air throughout the hot day. Going along with the fact that we work really hard to keep the animals as comfortable as possible in these hot temperatures, we will change our bedding a little bit. Instead of having straw, we'll use sawdust. Now this is a little more difficult to keep dry, so we have to monitor that a little more often to make sure that it stays dry. Another thing we do during the summer instead of during the super cold winter months is we foam the pen and leave it empty for at least 24 hours. This allows for the foam to kill the bacteria that was left behind by the calves and make sure that we start every new calf with a brand new bed to grow and live. Waters are vital for the calves throughout the year, but really important in the summer. So what we do is we wash our waters daily throughout the year, but we also monitor and make sure that they're nice and clean in the summer a little more often, just specifically because there's once in a while some flies that'll get in it and we don't want that. As important as it is to keep the flies off of the calves, it's also important to keep the flies out of this room. I don't want them to be going into the milk and contaminating the milk and getting it dirty. So what we do is we'll have doors that will allow us to shut in the summer, in the hot weather, so flies don't come in. It's also very useful in the winter when it's super cold to make sure our lines don't freeze. As much as I don't like it, we do have to put up some fly paper to make sure that the flies stay out of the milk and out of the feeder. Another thing is very important is to keeping it shut so that the flies don't go in the bowl. What's really great about Calf Magnify is I can add Clarify to the powder. Even though I'm feeding pasteurized milk and adding this balancer, it gives me the protection I need to keep the calves from getting flies on them as much as they would if they didn't have the Clarify in the calf magnified. So I really appreciate the fact that we're able to add that to the protein supplement that we add to our milk. Monitoring the bacteria growth and keeping everything clean is vital for the health of the calves, as all of us calf raisers know. Here at Homestead Dairy, we do a lot to maintain cleanliness. I have workers constantly cleaning daily to make sure that everything stays as bacteria free as possible. Testing the bacteria levels throughout the year is important, but we do it a lot in the summer. So it's really important to remember that the cleanliness of not only the bedding, not only of the feeder itself and the milk, but what they're sleeping in is the constant importance for us at our calf barns.